Hello, everybody, and welcome back to day number 14 of Raging Reveals, where every day we'll be going through all of the announcements counting up to the launch of Leagues 5 on November 27th. Yesterday, we saw combat relics announced, including a powerful new cheat death relic in Last Stand. Today, we're getting a brand new relic, Reloaded. Now, unfortunately, there might be a bug because the relic information doesn't actually say anything, and it's just reusing like this old asset. Wait, what does that say? Choose another relic from any tier below this one? What? That's right. Today's relic is Reloaded, which will allow you to pick another relic from a previous tier. And luckily, they've shown us how this will play out by giving us the first 4 tiers of relics. So if you were wondering what Golden God is up against, it turns out there's quite a bit more options than you would have expected. So before I begin, I guess talking about this, I just want to say how cool this relic actually is. I'm not going to lie, I've seen comments from people for years talking about, oh my God, can we just get another relic that lets you pick a relic from before? And I was always so convinced that that would be like the stupidest thing ever. Like, okay, you just have a relic that lets you pick another relic. Like that's just such a dumb idea. And they actually somehow did that and it works surprisingly well. So I was wrong. I mean, this is pretty damn cool. Next, because they've actually shown us all of the relic tiers, we actually know a little bit more about how the early game is going to play out and what relics this will affect. After all, it says previous relics, so it's not going to be any of them. It's going to be one of these first 3 relics, so you'll have another option from. And we do know that it's going to be up against Golden God in tier 4, but we don't yet know what that final relic of this tier is even going to be. And I think that's what makes this decision so difficult, is not only have the options expanded a lot more than I expected, but there's also an unknown variable, which almost makes me feel kind of stupid to even think about this one. I'm going to overthink it. Of course I am. Like, I mean, how could I not? But then in like a day or two, we're just going to find out another relic that might blow this one away. So who knows, right? So really the way that I see Reloaded is that it's adding 4 more options to tier 4. And basically tier 4 has 6 options now. Tier 3 are the transportation relics. Having access to any one of these is already really strong, and I don't think you're really going to want to double up once you've already picked one. This means that realistically, you have 4 other options that you can pick from because you've already picked a tier 1 and a tier 2 relic. So that's 4 additional choices along with the 2 other relics of this tier. That's already a lot to think about. We've never had more than 3 relics in a tier before, and now we have 6 different options to pick from. And it's also not like 6 relics in a vacuum because it gives you that option to double dip in a relic tier if you wanted. And I think that's already pretty cool that they managed to implement that. So for me personally, I think the best considerations here are going to be those tier 2 utility relics. The way I'm kind of assessing this right now is, would I double dip into the tier 1 or tier 2 relics over picking Golden God? And for me, I feel like I could only really see myself going for another one of those tier 2 utility relics. Because sure, solving all my money problems and having an infinite cash stack is great, but like running laps also sucks. So I don't know if I want to do that either. However, I have seen some ideas coming up with the dodgy deals relic that will actually allow you to do the underwater like mermaid swimming part of like over in Fossil Island. And that will actually get you a lot of agility experience with the dodgy deals relic. So right now, I was actually considering going dodgy deals and getting a lot of my agility done, taking advantage of my thieving relic, ironically enough. So I've kind of boiled it down for myself to like, would I pick Farmer's Fortune over Golden God? And I think that's a pretty close pick for me, but I would still lean more towards Golden God just because I think solving herb wars a little bit easy than getting that insane early game cash stack. In addition, we've seen a lot of tasks related to combat this year. And while I think that prayer isn't one of the hardest skills to train in leagues, solving your prayer early on, getting access to overheads, that's going to allow you to get into things like Scurious, into other bosses, into Slayer, just so much faster. And that growing gold stash will kind of carry you later on and give you access to some tasks and some methods, like buying Onyx from Karumja, that the other methods don't really enable as much. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut my discussion a little short on this one just because it's really hard to assess without knowing what that final relic is. This is such a unique tier that I don't really know what it could even be. I've been thinking maybe some kind of Slayer relic might come back, but honestly, it's super up in the air right now. That being said, this is still technically an 8 relic tier that we know 7 of. And I think that's just a really cool new part of leagues that you have one tier that has so many choices that you can go for. I'm also really glad to see the first four tiers. I think my predictions here were pretty accurate. And I've already been thinking about how to get access to tier two as fast as possible, get my utility relics, and then start implementing that into my starting route to unlock some tasks or get some things done that I hadn't thought of before. Just this morning, I posted my complete day one starting route. So if you are interested in that, please give it a watch. It goes through 76 tasks and will get you 1,000 points in just the first hour of leagues. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. With that, I think that's it for today's announcements. Tomorrow is the final day, and I expect there to be a lot of final reveals. So look forward to that. I know that I'm going to be getting a good night's rest and making sure that I am ready. I believe there's going to be a live stream from the old school RuneScape team, kind of going over whatever's left to announce, including the final relic for this tier, as well as that final relic that's going up against Overgrown and Grimoire later on. And who knows, maybe they have some other things cooking as well. All of the puzzle pieces are starting to come together, and I still have no idea what it's actually going to look like when it's all together for me. They've done such an excellent job at making the decisions so difficult while also being so unique and so interesting. I hope you guys are having just as much trouble as I am. And I don't know. Good luck picking. Let me know. Are you going to go reloaded? Are you going to go pick one of the old ones again? Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.